All right, ready to dive in? Today, we're exploring a YouTube video.
Ooh, interesting.
It's the first episode of a podcast. They call it Act Normal,
Okay.
and it's hosted by Dez and Jada. You know,
Oh, yeah.
those two, they're making waves in the music scene, really successful.
Yeah, I've seen them around.
Super interesting how they're using this new platform to really share their thoughts.
Yeah.
Like unfiltered, especially in that industry where everything's so image-focused.
It is, you're right.
And the story behind their podcast name.
Boy, does it.
It's hilarious. Okay, so picture this. They're in Jamaica.
Okay.
And things get a little wild during a golf cart ride.
Oh, no!
The cart flips over.
Oh, wow.
Police show up, and Dez, in like this moment of panic, starts whispering like crazy, "Act normal, act normal."
Oh, my gosh, that's great.
I know, right? Launching a podcast about being authentic.
I know.
With a name from a time they had to pretend, it makes you think.
Definitely makes you wonder if it was intentional, like a statement.
For sure, and there's so much more to unpack.
Can't wait.
Dez and Jada have been friends for a long time, since they were like 12 and 13.
Wow, really?
Get this, they met on a Facebook rap group call.
A Facebook rap group call? What is that?
Right. It's like a blast from the past.
It is.
Makes you realize how much things have changed the world and their friendship, too.
For sure, especially in the music industry where relationships can be fleeting.
So true.
It's pretty cool that they have that history, that foundation.
Definitely.
Probably helps them be more open with each other and their audience.
This episode is called When It All Falls Down. They get into something we can all relate to, life's ups and downs.
That's universal, for sure.
Dez said 2023 was her year of spirituality, finding grace.
I can see that.
Learning how to navigate the world better.
I feel like everyone goes through that, trying to find their rhythm.
Absolutely. Have you ever had that, like a shift in how you approach things?
Totally, yeah. Like you're finally in sync with yourself.
Exactly.
Jada talked about her year as rebalancing and resurfacing. Like she decided to shed things that weren't serving her anymore.
I love that.
And rediscover herself. It's powerful.
It is. It reminds us we can shape our own lives,
You're right. We can let go of what's weighing us down and focus on what matters.
They were so candid about the pressure that comes with success. It was surprising.
Really?
Yeah, like this constant need to project a certain image, even when you're dealing with your own struggles inside.
That makes sense.
It makes you realize how much we buy into those perfect images we see online.
Oh, definitely.
Jada was so vulnerable, saying she feels that pressure too.
Right.
It's a good reminder that everyone has their battles, even those who seem to have it all.
It humanizes them, takes away that celebrity facade.
Totally. And it makes you want to be kinder to everyone, yourself included.
Yeah, because we never really know what others are going through.
It was refreshing to hear them talk about how important their friendship is for dealing with those pressures.
Their friendship is like an anchor.
Exactly. Like having that solid support system makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
Des said she tries to find peace by understanding other people's perspectives.
Putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, like actively cultivating empathy. It's pretty cool.
Have you ever tried that? Like shifting your perspective to resolve a disagreement?
All the time. It can be so helpful, but sometimes you have to protect your own well-being too.
True. It's finding that balance.
Jade is all about putting herself first, setting boundaries, and prioritizing self-care, which I love.
That's important.
It's like she's saying, my well-being is non-negotiable.
I like that.
It makes me think, are we too accepting of the 9-to-5 grind?
Good question.
Des wants to teach her son about entrepreneurship, break that cycle.
Interesting.
It made me think about the values we're passing on to the next generation.
Yeah, are we setting them up for fulfillment,
And of course, no girl talk is complete without relationships.
Of course.
Des is casually dating, just enjoying someone's company.
Sounds.
No pressure, no labels. It's refreshing.
It is. She's choosing her own happiness.
It shows a lot of self-awareness.
Totally.
And Jada, she has a strong definition of dating.
What is it?
It's, she said, dating means y'all go on dates in depths.
In depths. That's interesting.
Right. Just hanging out doesn't cut it for her.
She's looking for something more, a deeper connection from the start.
They even talked about their own friendship, how they've had friction and miscommunication.
Oh, wow. So they've had their ups and downs, too.
Yeah, but what's amazing is how they've worked through it.
That took effort.
They've come out with a deeper understanding of each other.
That's true. Friendship.
It's like a testament to their commitment,
Yeah.
They didn't let conflict ruin their bond.
It's a reminder that all relationships take work.
Then they start playing this game called Jenga.
What's that?
And they answer all these personal questions while they play.
Sounds fun.
It's a really cool way to get them to open up even more.
It's like each question they pull is another block, testing their carefully constructed persona.
I like that. The more they reveal, the more vulnerable they become.
Exactly.
Des talked about breaking free from 9-to-5 jobs, empowering her son with entrepreneurship.
That's a powerful message.
It made me think about those unspoken rules we inherit, how life should be.
Yeah, she's challenging those assumptions.
It's bold, showing her son a different path.
A path where fulfillment and financial freedom aren't tied to a traditional job.
Jada's go-to prayer is all about putting God first and trusting his guidance.
That's beautiful.
That really speaks to her faith, you know?
It does, trusting in something bigger than herself.
Des was incredibly open about therapy. She said it's valuable, but you got to know when to move on.
It's true, therapy isn't a forever thing for everyone.
And she joked about her therapist knowing her whole life story.
It makes it feel less intimidating, more relatable.
Right, like it's a tool anyone can use for growth.
Exactly.
Jada's stance on rekindling relationships is pretty firm.
What is it?
She said, everybody I fell out with, bitch, you needed to go. Respectfully.
Wow, okay, that's a clear boundary.
And then Des reflected on her own past.
What did she say?
She said, everything I did, I needed all of that shit to make me this person. Respectfully.
That's powerful. She's owning her journey.
It makes you think about those messy paths we all take and how they shape us.
Exactly. It's about seeing those experiences, even the tough ones, as part of our growth.
For Jada, having a strong friendship is a must in any new relationship.
Makes sense, starting with shared values and genuine connection.
It makes you wonder how often we prioritize the wrong things, like superficial stuff over real compatibility.
I've all been there, for sure.
And then Des drops this bombshell about a shortcut.
A shortcut.
Yeah, she says it's attracting a whole new C group of niggas.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We don't get any more details. It's a total cliffhanger.
Oh no, they left us hanging.
They also said people would be surprised by how goofy they actually are.
I can see that. They seem pretty fun-loving.
It's a reminder that there's often more to people than we see, especially those in the public eye.
Definitely, we shouldn't judge based on surface appearances.
And then they shared this glimpse into a past conflict they had with each other.
Oh, interesting.
It involved miscommunication, pride, and a lot of outside noise making things worse.
It happens, even in the closest friendships.
They were both pretty adamant about not wanting to air their dirty laundry publicly.
Good for them. It shows respect for their friendship.
It sounds like they were both going through some personal growth at the time, and their communication just wasn't in sync.
It happens. Sometimes we just aren't on the same page.
They even talked about how that possessiveness they used to have towards each other has faded.
As we mature, we learn that healthy relationships need space for individual growth.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing that we don't own each other, and that's okay.
Then they shared this chilling story about being followed home by men pretending to be someone else when they were younger.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
It made me think about the vulnerabilities we all face, especially as women.
And how those experiences can shape us.
Des made a really interesting point about how the internet amplifies drama, and she wants nothing to do with manufactured beef.
She's right. So much of what we see online is just noise.
Jada shared her definition of trauma, which was so powerful.
What was it?
It was, well, she said it shaped her boundaries and self-awareness in all her relationships.
That's deep. Trauma can definitely have a lasting impact.
But it can also be a catalyst for growth. She's proof of that.
She's turned her experiences into something positive.
Des was so vocal about not normalizing hate online or anywhere else.
It's an important message, especially with how prevalent online negativity is.
She's all about celebrating authenticity, and I love that.
Me too. Being true to yourself is so important.
Jada shared a really heartfelt wish to heal her mother's pain from losing loved ones.
It's beautiful that she's so attuned to her mother's feelings.
It shows a deep level of empathy and compassion. Des's favorite vacation memory was Tokyo. She loved its energy and unique experiences.
Sounds like a great trip.
They even got up at 2 a.m. to walk the city, something they never do.
Wow, that's dedication.
It's like they stepped outside their comfort zones and embraced a different pace of life.
Travel can be so transformative.
Then they had this little debate about right person, wrong timing.
That's a classic debate.
Jada believes in it, but Des was like, absolutely not.
It's interesting how they have different perspectives on that.
Des's stance was, you come in my life, you better act how the fuck you're supposed to act when you're here.
There's a certain logic to that.
Like if someone is truly meant to be there, they'll show up right.
Exactly. No excuses.
Des's biggest lesson of 2023.
What was it?
It's not the end of the world.
It's simple, but so true.
And she literally knocked over the entire Jenga tower, as she said it. So symbolic.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
Like even when everything comes crashing down, we can rebuild.
Resilience at its finest.
And finally, they shared what they want for each other going forward.
Oh, that's sweet.
Jada wants Des to keep blossoming, give herself grace, and let go of the pressure to be perfect.
Such a supportive friend.
And Des wants Jada to speak up more, let go of her guardedness, and show the world her true self.
It's a beautiful challenge to embrace vulnerability and authenticity.
This whole episode was a whirlwind. So much to unpack, so many layers.
Yeah, they really went deep. It was amazing.
It makes you wonder how much of ourselves we're truly showing the world.
And how much we're hiding behind these masks we create.
Maybe it's time to let go of the act and just be ourselves.
Maybe it is.
Their conversation went from personal stuff to like bigger societal things.
Yeah.
Especially about online culture. It was so interesting.
I know, their thoughts on all the negativity online really hit home for me.
Same here, especially in this digital age.
A lot.
Des was really fired up about people spreading hate online.
Oh, yeah.
It was like raw and real, made me think about how we just accept it as normal.
It's easy to get numb to it all.
But she was right. Words have power, even online.
Absolutely they do.
It made me think about what we're all contributing to online.
For sure. Are we part of the problem or the solution?
Exactly. They also talked about how the internet can twist reality.
It does, you're right.
Like with those filtered pictures and perfect stories.
It's also curated.
It makes it hard not to compare yourself.
I read a study about social media and self-esteem.
Really?
Yeah, they found that more time on social media equals more feelings of inadequacy.
That makes sense.
It's like we're bombarded with images of perfection that are impossible to reach.
And then they tied that back to the music industry, where image is everything, the pressure to keep up a certain persona.
Even when it doesn't match who you are inside.
Right. It makes you wonder how much of themselves they can actually show.
It's gotta be tough.
It's like this constant balancing act.
They nailed it when they said the internet glorifies negativity.
So true. Conflict and drama get more clicks.
It's sad, but it's true.
It makes you question those algorithms, you know.
Totally. Are they really serving us?
Or just feeding this negativity loop.
They even talked about how people will criticize someone for buying a new car.
Yeah.
Like it's not good enough unless it's a Lamborghini.
It's crazy. Why can't we just celebrate each other's successes?
I think it's envy, fueled by what we see online.
Makes sense, like we've forgotten how to be happy for others.
It's all about comparison these days.
But Des and Jada, they're all about celebrating authenticity and lifting each other up.
It's refreshing, you know?
In a world full of hate, they're choosing kindness.
Makes you think about what you want to put out into the world.
For sure. We have a choice.
To add to the noise or be a voice of positivity.
They even said people will praise someone for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
But then judge them when they do the same.
It's a double standard, for sure.
Like vulnerability is only okay if it fits a certain mold.
It makes you wonder how much we hold back out of fear.
I know. It's scary to be truly open.
They talked about being mindful of the energy you put out there.
And surrounding yourself with people who lift you up.
That's so important.
It's about choosing your tribe, the people who make you feel good.
They really challenged me to look at my own relationships.
Me too. It's like, are they adding to my light or dimming it?
Exactly. It's a great question to ask yourself.
This whole deep dive is making me think about how we interact.
Me too. It's a lot to process.
Are we so used to acting normal that we've lost our true selves?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer.
Are we just performing all the time, afraid to show our true feelings?
I think about that sometimes, the masks we all wear.
Maybe the digital age has just amplified this need to pretend.
Maybe it has.
Des and Jada, they're challenging that, pushing us to rethink authenticity.
They're definitely shaking things up.
It's refreshing, and I hope it starts a bigger conversation.
About being real, being vulnerable.
I think this is just the beginning for them.
I think so too.
Their honesty is inspiring in a world full of fake. Okay, ready for a change of pace?
Yeah, bring it on.
They said people would be surprised by their goofiness.
Oh, yeah.
And they weren't kidding. They told this story about being in the studio, recording a serious track, but they just couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, no.
They were cracking up so hard they had to stop the whole session.
That's hilarious.
It's like even when you're working hard, there's always room for laughter.
I love that. It makes them seem so relatable.
It's a good reminder for all of us, you know?
To not take ourselves too seriously.
Especially when things get tough.
It's about finding that balance.
Being dedicated, but also lighthearted.
Exactly.
They also had this debate about right person, wrong timing.
The classic dilemma.
Jada believes in it, but Des was like, nope.
I'm curious, where do you stand on that?
I'm with Des on this one.
Yeah.
If someone's meant to be there, they'll be there.
No excuses.
Des's biggest lesson from 2023 was, it's not the end of the world.
I love that.
She literally knocked over the whole Jenga tower, as she said it. Like a symbol of how, even when things fall apart, we can always rebuild.
It's about resilience, bouncing back.
And they ended by sharing their hopes for each other.
Ah.
So sweet. Jada wants Des to keep growing.
Okay.
Give herself grace, not worry about being perfect.
Yeah, that's true friendship.
And Des wants Jada to speak up more. Let her guard down.
To show the world who she really is.
Like she's saying, your voice matters.
We need to hear it.
This episode was such a ride. So many emotions.
I know, right?
Laughter, tears, deep thoughts. It was amazing.
It really felt like we were right there with them.
Sharing their journey, their struggles, their joy.
It was a powerful reminder to be ourselves.
Let go of the act and embrace who we are.
The good, the bad, the messy.
It all makes us who we are.
What do you hope listeners take away from this?
I hope they feel inspired to be more authentic.
Me too.
To let go of that pressure to act normal.
It's exhausting trying to be someone you're not.
I hope they realize how important it is to have those supportive relationships.
The ones that make you feel seen and accepted.
Exactly. Where you can be your true self.
And maybe, just maybe, they'll create more spaces like that for others.
Online, offline, everywhere.
And spaces where vulnerability is celebrated.
That would be amazing.
It'd be a world worth living in.
This was such a great deep dive.
I agree.
Des and Jada are really something special.
They are so inspiring.
Thanks for joining me on this journey.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.